Have you ever felt drained, stressed, or even physically uncomfortable after spending time with certain people? Or maybe you've noticed that some habits are leaving you with sleepless nights and affecting your overall health. It's not just about what you eat or how much you sleep. Our relationships and the people we interact with daily can significantly impact our mental and physical well-being, especially as we grow older. In this video, I'm going to share some surprising insights that could completely change the way you look at your environment, your habits, and the people around you. We'll dive into the 3 types of people you should limit contact with to protect your peace of mind and avoid unnecessary mental stress. Plus, I'll reveal some simple lifestyle changes that can help you feel better, sleep soundly, and wake up refreshed, so you can truly enjoy your golden years without the constant drain of negativity. You'll also learn why cutting back on certain foods, like fast food, could be the key to avoiding chronic health issues that might sneak up as you get older. If you've ever struggled with digestive discomfort, fatigue, or even high blood pressure, this video will give you practical tips on how to make small changes that add up to big improvements in your health and happiness. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to create a healthier environment, improve your well-being, and cultivate a more positive outlook on life. Stay tuned until the end to discover how these simple shifts can lead to a peaceful, vibrant life you truly deserve. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Habit number 1. Eating too many sweets and fats. Dear friends, as we grow older, the desire for good health becomes more than just a wish. It becomes a heartfelt need. Who doesn't long to spend their golden years in peace, surrounded by the love of children and grandchildren, without ever being a burden to them? To continue sharing stories, laughter, and simple joys with family, feeling strong and independent, and enjoying the little moments that make life so precious. But here's the truth that many of us overlook. Those small daily pleasures, like the sweet treats, the fizzy drinks, or that cup of coffee filled with sugar each morning, are quietly, almost invisibly, eating away at our health, and with it, our time. At first, it feels harmless, doesn't it? A bit of sugar in your coffee, a candy bar here and there. These are the small comforts that make life feel a little sweeter, and in some ways, they remind us that we're still living fully, still enjoying the richness of life. But as we age, our bodies aren't as resilient as they once were. The liver and the kidneys, our organs that used to work tirelessly, begin to slow down, becoming less efficient. And while those sweet drinks or extra sugars might give you a moment of pleasure, they're slowly building up in your system, causing unseen harm. It may not be noticeable right away. At first, it's just a fleeting moment of happiness, but over time, those sweet drinks, that sugary coffee, and those fatty foods can quietly build up, leading to serious consequences. Diabetes, high cholesterol, and even strokes. You might not notice it until one day when your doctor gives you a diagnosis you never wanted to hear. And all those little indulgences that once seemed innocent now weigh heavily on your body, turning into a long, drawn-out struggle that could have been avoided. Many of you have told me, with the sincerest of hearts, that all you want is to be healthy enough to take care of yourself, to avoid becoming a burden to your loved ones. But those habits, those little things we let slide, can sometimes turn into something much bigger. They can lead to dependency, to a life ruled by medications, and the constant struggle against illness. And that's not the way we deserve to live out our years. We deserve to feel vibrant and enjoy our family without the shadow of illness looming over us. To embrace the joy of life without feeling weighed down by preventable health problems. But here's the good news. Your health is in your hands. It is never too late to make small but powerful changes that can make a huge difference. It's not about destiny or fate, it's about choice. The choices we make every single day can shape our future. Instead of sugary sodas or that extra large cup of coffee loaded with sugar, Why not try water or a soothing herbal tea? Instead of reaching for fried foods, opt for steaming or boiling. Those choices can make all the difference. You don't have to completely give up on all your indulgences. Just make them a little less frequent, and savor them in moderation. Life doesn't have to be a constant struggle against health problems. It can be a peaceful journey toward well-being, filled with vitality and strength. So, my dear friends, let's think about the future we want. A future where we're not confined to a life of illness, but instead surrounded by the love and warmth of our families, healthy and able to enjoy every moment. It's in your hands. You have the power to make those changes, to embrace a healthier life without sacrificing the joy that comes with it. What other habits have you found to be helpful? How do you stay mindful of your health as you age? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Habit number 2. Sitting too much and not exercising enough. My dear friends, I know that as we age, the thought of daily exercise can sometimes feel daunting, like an unnecessary task or a challenge that seems out of reach. Perhaps many of you have fallen into the comforting routine of sitting for long hours, maybe tidying up a little here and there, or simply sitting back to watch TV or read the newspaper to pass the time. There's a certain tranquility in these moments of stillness, isn't there? A sense of peace, as though the world outside is moving too fast and we need to slow down. But I ask you to reflect for a moment. What is this stillness truly costing us? Because, my dear friends, the truth is, while sitting may feel like a harmless comfort, it is quietly, relentlessly chipping away at our health every single day. When we sit for hours on end, our bodies suffer in ways we don't always recognize until it's too late. Our circulation slows, and the blood that should be nourishing our muscles, joints, and organs becomes stagnant. The joints, which were once fluid and agile, begin to stiffen, each movement becoming a little more labored than the last. Aches and pains that we used to brush off become persistent companions, reminding us that we're no longer in our youth, no longer invincible. Our bones, which once stood firm, become fragile with time, and a little bit of laziness in movement can suddenly leave us feeling sore, stiff, and vulnerable. Have you noticed that your steps aren't as quick or as strong as they once were? Does it feel like you're winded after climbing just a few stairs, a simple task that used to be effortless? These are not just fleeting inconveniences. They are signs that your body is crying out for attention, pleading for movement. But my dear friends, the consequences of too much sitting go beyond the physical discomfort we feel in our bones and joints. It affects something even more precious, our minds. Yes, you heard me right. Exercise is not just about our bodies. It is the key to keeping our minds sharp, clear, and alive. Every time we take a walk, stretch our arms, or engage in any kind of light exercise, blood flows more freely throughout our bodies, reaching even the brain, waking it up from the sluggishness that can settle in when we've been idle for too long. Have you ever felt that sense of fogginess, that mental cloudiness, when you've been sitting too much? It's as if your mind is slowly turning off, becoming more distant from the present moment. Exercise fights against that decline. It breathes life into your spirit and sharpens your focus, helping you feel more alert and more engaged with the world around you. Sitting for too long is like dimming the lights in a room. Without the energy, the joy, and the vitality that comes from movement, our spirits begin to wilt, and we start to feel heavier, burdened by an invisible weight. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I understand, it's hard to change habits, especially when we feel like we've earned the right to rest. But dear friends, health isn't something we can simply buy or obtain by wishing for it. It requires action. Just a small, daily commitment to movement. 15 to 30 minutes of simple exercises, like walking around the house, stretching, or even stepping outside for a breath of fresh air, can make an enormous difference. Those tiny steps, those little actions, may seem insignificant at the moment, but over time, they build a foundation of health and vitality. They are like the bricks that form the walls of a strong, joyful life. Each movement is an investment in yourself, in your well-being, and in your future. So, I urge you, my dear friends, don't wait. Move, stretch, breathe. It's never too late to take that first step toward a healthier, happier you. Habit number 3. Not getting enough sleep or staying up late. My dear friends, I want to speak from the heart about something that we often overlook: sleep. As we grow older, the simple act of getting a good night's rest seems to elude us more and more, doesn't it? We long for the peaceful slumber that leaves us waking up feeling rejuvenated, but in reality, many of us find ourselves staying up late. Whether it's to watch another episode of a favorite show, scroll through our phones, or simply lie awake in the quiet of the night, our minds restless. I want to tell you from personal experience that this habit can quietly rob us of our health, piece by piece. I used to think I could handle staying up late, especially when I was younger. I'd stay up working, thinking just one more hour wouldn't hurt. I convinced myself that it was no big deal. But what I didn't realize at the time was how deeply it would affect me, both physically and emotionally. After several late nights, I started to feel a gradual decline. My body became exhausted, my mind foggy, and I found myself unable to perform even simple tasks with the same efficiency and enthusiasm as before. It was as if I was walking through my days in a haze, waking up tired, my face drained of its usual vitality, with no energy left to truly enjoy life. Maybe you've felt this too. It's such a subtle shift, yet it's so powerful. The truth is, as we age, our bodies don't recover the same way they used to. A missed hour of sleep or staying up late has a more significant impact now. What may have seemed like a small, inconsequential thing when we were younger starts to feel like an anchor, dragging us down. You might think sleep is a small issue. After all, it's just sleep, right? But I've come to understand that it's not small at all. It's the very foundation of our health. You see, not getting enough sleep, or worse, staying up late, disrupts our biological clock, and this is no trivial matter. It can cause our blood pressure to fluctuate, our hearts to beat erratically, and our bodies to struggle to maintain balance. Without enough rest, our circulation falters, and we feel drained, irritable, and mentally foggy. Our memories suffer, and our clarity diminishes. We might even notice that we begin to forget things more often, or that we lose focus much more easily. Have you noticed that? The way poor sleep steals the sharpness of your mind, the clarity that once came so naturally. And it's not just about feeling groggy in the morning. It's about the toll it takes on our overall well-being. Poor sleep leaves us feeling defeated before the day even begins. You wake up with no energy, no joy, no vitality. How can you truly enjoy life when you're already running on empty before the sun even rises? At this stage of life, don't we all long for a long, healthy life? We wish to age gracefully, without becoming a burden to those we love. But our habits, the ones we may not even recognize as harmful, are slowly eroding that dream. Staying up late, known to getting enough sleep, these habits chip away at our vitality and joy, little by little, until one day we realize how much we've lost. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can change. I urge you to commit yourself, to start by respecting your body's need for rest. It's never too late to form new habits, and I promise you, the difference it can make is remarkable. Try to establish a routine of going to bed earlier. Cut out the distractions, the phone, the TV, the unnecessary late-night snacks. Create a space for rest, a sanctuary where you can unwind and allow your body to recharge. The peace of a quiet room, the soft dimming of lights, and the calmness of a peaceful mind are gifts you give yourself every night. It's not about perfection, but about progress. And remember, sometimes it's the smallest changes that bring the most significant results. Once you start sleeping better, you'll feel it in your bones. You'll wake up refreshed, with a renewed sense of energy, a better mood, and no more dragging yourself through the day. You'll start to see life through a different lens, one that's brighter and more full of promise. So, let's not take sleep for granted, my friends. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. You owe it to yourself, your health, and your happiness to make sleep a priority. You deserve to wake up each day with the kind of vitality and clarity that comes only from a night of truly restful sleep. Don't let this simple yet powerful habit slip through your fingers. Habit number 4. Drinking too little water. My dear friends, when we were younger, we often took our bodies for granted, didn't we? We could skip meals, push through long days, and even forget to drink water for hours without feeling the consequences. But as we age, our bodies begin to whisper, then shout, for our attention. One of the most important yet overlooked aspects of our health is something so simple, so fundamental: drinking enough water. I know many of you might not have developed the habit of drinking water regularly. Some of you only reach for a glass when your throat is dry, or perhaps you don't feel thirsty often, so you don't think about it. You may think, it's not a big deal, it's just water. But I'm here to tell you, that mindset can be silently undermining your health. As we grow older, every little thing we do, or fail to do, matters more than ever. You might be thinking, I don't sweat like I used to. I sit more, I'm not as active, so I don't need as much water. But here's the truth. Even when we aren't moving around like we did in our younger years, our bodies are still working hard. We still need water to help our organs function smoothly, to keep our joints flexible, and our skin soft and glowing. Water is essential for detoxifying our bodies, and for flushing out the waste we don't see. When we're dehydrated, we feel it in so many ways we don't always connect to the root cause. Persistent headaches, that afternoon fatigue that feels impossible to shake off, dry skin, or even constipation. We push these symptoms aside, thinking it's just part of getting older. But the truth is that dehydration could be the culprit. I'm no stranger to this myself. There were times when my busy days would go by, and I'd realize I hadn't drunk any water until I felt the dryness in my throat. I used to think it wasn't such a big deal until I felt that dull headache creeping in, that sluggishness taking over my energy. It wasn't until I thought about it, did some research, and connected the dots, that I realized how damaging this could be. Not drinking enough water isn't just about feeling sluggish. It can affect your digestion, leading to constipation and a slow, unhealthy gut. And it's not just about the internal effects. When you're dehydrated, your skin starts to show the signs: dryness, lack of elasticity, and that dull, aged look. And I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to give up on my skin looking its best just yet. Think about it. When you're dehydrated, your blood thickens, making it harder for your heart to pump it throughout your body. Your heart has to work harder, which over time can lead to high blood pressure and other cardiovascular problems. A terrifying reality as we age. And let's not forget about the visible toll dehydration takes. Our skin, which was once soft and plump, loses its vitality. That glow fades, and we find ourselves looking in the mirror, wondering where that youthful softness went. But here's the good news. You can still have healthy, radiant skin, no matter your age. It's all about staying hydrated. So, what's the solution? It's simpler than we think. Drink more water, regularly, throughout the day. I've found that keeping a water bottle within sight helps me remember to sip. Every morning, I start my day with a glass of warm water to wake up my system and cleanse my body. Then, throughout the day, I take small sips, nothing too much, just enough to keep myself hydrated without waiting for thirst to remind me. And the best part? It becomes second nature. You don't have to force yourself. It just becomes part of your routine, like breathing. I'm telling you this from the heart because I truly believe that maintaining our health as we age is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. We're not just trying to avoid illness or discomfort. We're actively nurturing ourselves to feel better and to live more fully. Water is such a small thing, but it's one of the simplest acts of self-care you can do each day. So, let's make it a habit. Drink water, not just because your body needs it, but because you deserve it. Now, on another note, while we're talking about habits that affect our health, there's something else I want to discuss. Late night eating. I know it might feel comforting, but trust me, It's one habit that can be detrimental to your health. If you want to live a long, vibrant life, there are certain foods you should steer clear of late at night. Let me share them with you because taking care of your body isn't just about what you drink, it's also about what you eat and when you eat it. Stay tuned. Food to avoid number 1. Fried foods. Dear friends, let's talk about something that, if we're being honest, we all have a soft spot for: crispy, golden, sizzling fried foods. They call us, don't they? The temptation of a crispy fried chicken, a pile of perfectly golden French fries, or the mouth-watering smell of freshly fried spring rolls. It's hard to resist, I know. But as much as we adore these indulgent treats, it's important to recognize the toll they take on our health, particularly as we age. These foods may seem harmless, even comforting at the moment, but they're quietly working against our bodies, especially when eaten at night. Fried foods are packed with unhealthy fats and oils that are notoriously difficult to digest. As we get older, our digestive systems aren't as robust as they used to be. It's like we've given our bodies a lifetime of hard work, and now they deserve a break. But fried foods demand the opposite. When we eat them, especially in the evening, our digestive systems are forced to work overtime. Imagine, after a long day, your body is already tired, and now it has to break down these greasy, heavy foods. This creates a burden, particularly on the liver and stomach, which are already struggling to keep up. For those of us in our later years, digestion becomes more challenging, and these heavy foods make it even harder. I know I've experienced that discomfort, the bloating, the heaviness, the restless tossing and turning all night because my body couldn't break down the meal I had enjoyed earlier. It was as though my body was working against me, and I ended up losing sleep over it. Have you ever felt that way? That feeling of regret after eating something so simple, yet so damaging to your body's delicate rhythm? But it's not just about the discomfort. Over time, those unhealthy fats begin to build up, raising the levels of bad cholesterol in our blood. We may not feel it immediately, but it's a ticking time bomb, slowly raising the risk of heart problems, high blood pressure, and a multitude of other health concerns. It's a quiet threat, often unnoticed, yet so dangerous in the long run. Do we want to risk our future health for the sake of a few minutes of fleeting pleasure from fried food? I used to think that those late-night French fries didn't matter much, but then I began to notice the toll it took on me. Waking up in the middle of the night, feeling bloated and uneasy, knowing deep down I had compromised my well-being for the sake of a temporary craving. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's not easy to change, I understand. Fried foods have that addictive crunch, that rich flavor that lingers on your taste buds. But I've come to realize that it's just not worth sacrificing my peace of mind, my sleep, or my health. If you've experienced the same restless nights, the discomfort, the regret, I encourage you to make one small change. Try switching to lighter, easier-to-digest meals, especially at night. You'll be surprised at how much better you feel, not only when you wake up but also over time. Health isn't just about what we eat at the moment. It's about the long-term choices we make for ourselves. Small changes, like avoiding fried foods late at night, can lead to a more peaceful, healthier life. And trust me, when you've tasted the freedom of better sleep and improved digestion, you'll wonder why you ever settled for less. Food to avoid number 2. Sweets. Sweets have always held a special place in our hearts. Who doesn't love a delicious slice of cake, a piece of rich chocolate, or the sweetness of a juicy, ripe fruit? There's something undeniably comforting about indulging in a sweet treat, especially after a long day. I remember the joy I used to feel savoring that little bite of candy or finishing off a sweet dessert before bed. It seemed harmless, a small pleasure to cap off the evening. But over time, I came to realize that this indulgence, though satisfying at the moment, was causing me more harm than I had ever imagined, especially at night. Many people, like I once did, don't truly understand the havoc that sweets can wreak on our health, particularly when consumed late in the evening. The sugar in these treats is absorbed into your bloodstream so quickly, triggering a rapid surge of energy. It's almost as if your body is jolted awake, and you're suddenly more alert and restless, even though all you want to do is fall asleep. Have you ever experienced that restless feeling after enjoying a sweet snack, finding yourself lying wide awake, unable to drift into the deep, peaceful sleep you desperately crave? It's incredibly frustrating, and what's worse is that it can become a vicious cycle, keeping you from getting the rest you need. But the effects of sugar go beyond just disrupting your sleep. As we age, our organs, especially the liver and pancreas, aren't as resilient as they once were. They no longer work as efficiently, and they struggle to process the sugar that we consume. This added stress on our organs can lead to fatigue, making it even harder to feel energized and refreshed the next day. And the toll doesn't stop there. Eating sweets regularly at night can contribute to weight gain, affect your heart health, and cause fluctuations in your blood pressure. These subtle cumulative effects can sneak up on you, and before you know it, you're feeling the impact in ways you didn't expect. I used to be someone who convinced myself that a small treat after dinner wouldn't hurt. It's just a little candy, just a tiny piece of cake, I'd think, almost as if that little indulgence wouldn't make a difference. But the truth is, it does. I remember nights spent tossing and turning, struggling to sleep because of the sugar in my system, and waking up in the morning feeling groggy and drained. That sweet treat that once brought me joy now seemed to leave me with only a sense of regret. Sleep becomes more precious as we get older. Our bodies need rest to heal, recharge, and maintain our health, and without it, we risk feeling perpetually exhausted. If you're like I was and you have a habit of reaching for sweets at night, I encourage you to reconsider. It might feel comforting in the moment, but in the long run, it disrupts your peace of mind and affects your well-being. Try switching to lighter, less sugary options instead. Perhaps a small serving of fresh fruit or even a warm cup of water to aid digestion. Trust me, you'll notice the difference. Not only will your sleep improve, but you'll wake up feeling lighter, more energized, and ready to embrace the day. It's a small change, but one that can make a world of difference in how you feel as you move through life. Food to avoid number 3. Spicy foods. Who doesn't adore a little kick in their meals? Spicy foods like chili, pepper, ginger, and garlic bring out bold flavors, tantalizing our taste buds and sparking that fiery excitement in every bite. I'll admit that I'm guilty of craving that fiery sensation from time to time. But what if I told you that indulging in spicy foods, especially at night, could come at a hefty price for your health? It's a truth that many of us overlook, but eating spicy foods right before bedtime can trigger a whole cascade of problems, particularly when it comes to our sleep. When you eat spicy food at night, your body's temperature naturally rises, making you feel uncomfortably hot and restless. I can't count the number of nights I found myself tossing and turning, wide awake, drenched in sweat, all because of a spicy dish I decided to enjoy too close to bedtime. That intense heat from the spices doesn't just simmer down, it sticks around and leaves you feeling agitated. But it's not just the discomfort. The spicy ingredients we love so much, while they may bring joy to our meals, stimulate the digestive system, making it work overtime. This can create pressure in the stomach and intestines, leading to bloating, indigestion, and a sense of heaviness that simply doesn't make for a restful night. And then there's the issue of acid reflux, which can become an even bigger problem as we get older. For many older adults, this is a reality that cannot be ignored. The last thing you want is to lie down after eating something spicy, only to feel that painful burning sensation as stomach acid travels up the esophagus. It's not just uncomfortable, it disrupts your sleep, robs you of the rest you desperately need, and can even damage the lining of your stomach over time. I've been there. I remember one night, I made the mistake of indulging in a spicy hot pot right before bed. At first I thought, just a little spice won't hurt, but oh, how wrong I was. The burning sensation was so intense, and the bloating so overwhelming, that I spent the entire night wide awake, wishing I could rewind time. That experience was a wake-up call for me, teaching me just how important it is to choose lighter, more soothing meals at night. Meals that allow your body to wind down, relax, and prepare for the rest it truly needs. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up spicy foods forever. I still enjoy them, but I've learned to respect their timing. If you're looking for a peaceful, uninterrupted night of sleep, it's best to skip the spicy dishes in the evening. Your body will thank you, and you'll wake up feeling refreshed, not fatigued by discomfort. Trust me, when it comes to getting quality sleep, sometimes less really is more. Food to avoid. Number 4. Coffee and strong tea. For countless people, the comforting aroma of coffee or the soothing warmth of tea has become an unshakable habit, a ritual that bookends their days. Some even cherish the simple joy of sharing a cup late into the evening, chatting with loved ones, or savoring a moment of solitude. Yet, this seemingly innocent indulgence carries hidden consequences that many overlook. Coffee and strong tea are laden with caffeine, a powerful stimulant that, when consumed at night, can wreak havoc on your sleep and overall health. Have you ever felt the relentless frustration of lying awake after sipping a late-night cup of coffee or tea? You toss and turn, willing your body to rest, but your mind feels as if it's running a race it can't stop. The caffeine jolts your nervous system into overdrive, keeping you alert and stealing the peaceful slumber your body so desperately craves. The result? A restless night, followed by a groggy, irritable morning where even the sunrise feels dull. But the harm doesn't stop at sleeplessness. For those prone to stomach issues, caffeine can be a double-edged sword. It stimulates acid production in the stomach, which can lead to discomfort, irritation, and an exacerbation of existing digestive problems. Over time, these effects compound, making what started as a comforting beverage a hidden antagonist to your health. Imagine this: a simple change in your nightly routine, a mindful decision to swap your evening coffee or strong tea for a calming herbal blend, could transform your nights. Instead of lying awake, you drift into a deep, restorative sleep. Your body, grateful for the reprieve, awakens refreshed and recharged, ready to embrace the day with vitality. Breaking this habit isn't just about avoiding caffeine, it's about reclaiming your well-being. It's a small act of kindness to yourself, a way to prioritize your health over fleeting cravings. What do you think? Could a small sacrifice today bring you the gift of better sleep and vibrant mornings? In the grand scheme of life, isn't a full night of rest worth more than a fleeting sip of stimulation? Food to avoid. Number 5. Fast food. Dear friends, let's talk about something that many of us are all too familiar with: fast food. In today's fast-paced world, foods like sandwiches, pizza, fried chicken, and sausages have become part of the routine. They're quick, easy, and convenient, perfect for those nights when we just don't feel like cooking. I understand the temptation. After all, who doesn't love a quick fix after a long, exhausting day? But what if I told you that these so-called convenient meals are silent enemies of our health, particularly when consumed at night? It's not just a harmless treat, it's a ticking time bomb for your body, especially as you get older. Fast food is packed with saturated fats, excessive salt, and a whole array of other additives that we don't need. When we eat these foods, especially late in the evening, we're putting immense pressure on our digestive system. The rich fats in fast food force our liver and stomach to work overtime, trying to process the unhealthy load. It's like asking our body to carry a heavy burden just when it's supposed to be winding down. The result? Bloating, indigestion, and a restless night. I know this from personal experience. There have been many nights when I woke up feeling bloated and uncomfortable, struggling to fall back asleep. It's a vicious cycle that I had to break. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But it doesn't end there. Fast food is also notoriously high in salt, which has the nasty side effect of causing our bodies to retain water. This leads to swelling, puffiness, and for many of us, raised blood pressure, a real concern for older adults. If you've ever woken up feeling parched or found yourself tossing and turning after indulging in fast food at dinner, you've felt the effects firsthand. That thirst. It's your body screaming for help, asking you to give it something better to work with. But it's not just about digestion or thirst. fast food poses a much larger threat to our heart health. The combination of salt and fat increases the risk of heart disease by raising bad cholesterol levels, leading to clogged arteries and overwhelming our cardiovascular system. As the days and nights pass, these effects accumulate, quietly and steadily eroding our health. There was a time when I, too, leaned on fast food for convenience. After a long day, who wants to spend time preparing a meal? Fast food was my easy out. But after just a few nights of bloating, constant thirst, and discomfort that left me staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, I had to stop and ask myself, is this worth it? No amount of convenience can replace the peace and comfort of a good night's sleep. Our bodies, especially as we age, need foods that are easier to digest, lighter, and nourishing. We need food that can help us unwind and rejuvenate, not food that keeps us up at night and uncomfortable in our skin. If you've ever found yourself in the same trap, reaching for fast food out of habit or necessity, I urge you to consider an alternative. Try replacing that greasy, heavy meal with something gentler. Boiled vegetables, a warm bowl of soup, or even a simple bowl of porridge. These foods are not only easier on the digestive system, but they also help your body relax, easing you into a peaceful slumber. I can't stress enough how much of a difference this small change can make. You don't have to go cold turkey, but even just cutting back on fast food and choosing lighter, healthier options can have an incredibly positive impact on your well-being. The next morning, you'll wake up feeling energized, refreshed, and ready to embrace the day with a sense of gratitude for your body. And it's not just about food, dear friends. We've already explored some of the small habits that can have a huge impact on our overall health. Things like getting enough sleep, staying hydrated, and maintaining a positive attitude. These habits help us stay strong, healthy, and happy, but there's something else that can make or break our mental and emotional well-being. Sometimes, it's not just what we put into our bodies, it's who we allow into our lives. Have you ever noticed how certain people can drain your energy, leaving you feeling stressed, anxious, or downright exhausted after just a conversation? It's as if their negativity seeps into your spirit, leaving you depleted and uneasy. There are certain people we should keep at a distance to preserve our peace of mind. People who constantly bring negativity, judgment, or stress into our lives can have a profound effect on our mental and emotional health. Just as we need to be mindful of what we eat, we also need to be mindful of who we allow into our inner circle. In the next part, let's dive into the types of people who negatively affect our mental well-being and how we can protect ourselves from these toxic influences. I truly believe that by making small changes in both our diets and our social interactions, we can lead lives that are not only healthier but also more peaceful and full of joy. 3 types of people to limit contact with to stay healthy and avoid mental stress. Type 1. The chronic complainers. Dear friends, life is undeniably a journey filled with both beautiful and challenging moments. Yet, no matter what we face, we all have a choice in how we respond. Unfortunately, some people seem to constantly choose the darker side, and instead of finding solutions or seeing the silver linings, they become overwhelmed by a never-ending sea of complaints. These are the chronic complainers, people who are always dissatisfied, always focused on what's wrong, never what's right. They gripe about their jobs, their families, their health, their neighbors. Even the very weather can become a topic of endless complaint. It's as though they've built a life out of negativity, seeing every situation as a burden, every person as a fault, and every day as a battle. Have you ever noticed how draining it can be to be around such people? It's almost like their constant griping begins to seep into your soul, and you find yourself walking away feeling heavier, more burdened, and almost tired. These chronic complainers have a way of draining the life out of you, leaving you emotionally exhausted. No matter how much you try to offer advice, support, or even empathy, they inevitably return to their familiar, miserable stories. And though you may try to offer comfort, you realize it's like speaking to a wall. Nothing changes. Have you ever had that feeling? That unshakable weight that you carry with you long after the conversation is over? It's almost as if you've been infected with their sadness, and it starts to affect your mood. Your once cheerful spirit slowly begins to dim, and suddenly, you lose sight of the little moments of joy you used to find in life. The small, beautiful things that once made you smile feel distant, hidden behind a fog of negativity. I had a friend once who seemed to live with this perpetual cloud of complaints. No matter how much sunshine was shining outside, it always felt like a storm was raging inside her mind. At first, I naively believed she was just venting, seeking some comfort or validation. But as time went on, every encounter with her felt the same, just a relentless torrent of negativity. From small irritations about daily tasks to deep frustrations about life itself, her words were never about hope or solutions. And let me tell you, friends, it wore me down. After each meeting, I felt like I had aged 10 years. I walked away mentally drained, emotionally spent, and with a heavy heart. I remember thinking, I can't do this anymore. Eventually, I realized that I needed to protect myself, to guard my peace and my well-being, because if I didn't, her negativity would start to consume me. As we grow older, we're supposed to find peace, to savor the simple pleasures in life. We're meant to appreciate our quiet moments, cherish our relationships, and embrace a sense of tranquility that comes with age. But how can we do that when we're constantly surrounded by negativity? We deserve better than that, don't we? We deserve to be uplifted, to spend time with people who light up our lives instead of dimming them. It's vital to understand that who we choose to spend our time with directly impacts our state of mind. If we keep allowing ourselves to be pulled into the whirlpool of someone else's complaints, we will lose sight of the calm, peaceful existence we've earned through years of living. My friends, it's okay to distance ourselves from those who drag us down. It's not about being cruel, but rather about honoring ourselves, our mental health, and our personal growth. And when we make space for the people who lift us, who fill our conversations with laughter, encouragement, and love, we make room for joy, vitality, and peace. A single shift in who we surround ourselves with can change everything. Imagine spending more time with those who make us feel seen, appreciated, and light-hearted. These relationships nourish our spirits, leaving us feeling refreshed and recharged. I've learned that sometimes it's not just about cutting out the negativity, but about actively choosing to invite positivity. Letting go of toxic influences doesn't make us selfish, it makes us wise. After all, in the grand scheme of things, our time is precious. It's the one thing we can never get back. So, let's choose wisely how we spend it. Let's choose to spend it with those who fill us with energy, love, and the promise of better days ahead. The less we engage with chronic complainers, the more we can preserve our joy, our health, and ultimately our peace. Sometimes, the simplest change, reducing our contact with those who bring us down, can make a world of difference. Type 2. The envious people. Dear friends, as we journey through life, we inevitably encounter individuals whose hearts seem overshadowed by envy. These people, always comparing themselves to others, carry a quiet, or sometimes loud, sense of dissatisfaction that spills over into their interactions. Their happiness is not rooted in their own achievements or personal growth, but in measuring themselves against the lives of others. For them, the success or joy of someone else is never a source of inspiration. Rather, it becomes a trigger for bitterness and resentment. When they see others succeed, they don't celebrate the victory. They stew in their feelings of inadequacy and disappointment. It's painful, isn't it? To witness someone struggle to find peace with their own life, constantly caught in the web of comparison. Envious people often feel threatened by the happiness of others, and as a result, they can become vocal in their criticism. They may throw sharp words at someone's achievements or tear down their joy with sarcastic remarks. When we interact with them, we might find ourselves starting to doubt our worth or questioning the value of our accomplishments. Their toxic energy can creep into our thoughts, pulling us into a cycle of comparison that clouds our sense of fulfillment. Suddenly, we begin to measure our worth against theirs, and with that comparison comes the erosion of our confidence, our peace of mind, and ultimately our joy. I've personally experienced this, and it's heartbreaking. There was once a person in my life who, without fail, would comment on the success of others with a mixture of envy and disdain. At first, I tried to brush it off as casual talk, nothing to take seriously. But over time, I noticed a subtle shift in myself. Every time I left an interaction with this person, I felt drained, as though my little moments of happiness had been stolen. My successes didn't seem as sweet anymore. My achievements felt smaller in the face of their constant negativity. It was as though I had allowed their envy to seep into my soul, and I started to lose sight of what truly mattered to me. And that, my friends, is the danger of being surrounded by envy. It's like a slow, silent poison that can gradually strip away our inner peace. In older age, we should be learning to embrace our lives fully, to appreciate the quiet joy of simply being, without the constant need to prove ourselves or compete with others. It is a time for reflection, for cultivating gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. Envy has no place here. If you find yourself in the presence of envious individuals, it's crucial to protect your peace. Limit your interactions with those who thrive on comparison and negativity. Instead, seek out the company of those who uplift, who celebrate others' happiness, and who share in the beauty of life's quiet blessings. Surround yourself with people who help you grow, not those who make you question your worth. Your peace is precious, and it's worth protecting. The older we get, the more we realize that life is not a competition. It's a journey. And it's a journey we can only enjoy if we choose to focus on our path, free from the distractions of envy. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 4 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Type 3. The constantly negative people. Now, let's dive into the third type of person you need to limit your contact with. The constantly negative people. These individuals, without fail, seem to see the world through a darkened lens, constantly fixating on the worst possible outcome in any situation. It doesn't matter what's happening around them. They'll find something to criticize, something to complain about. From personal struggles to global crises, everything feels like one long, unrelenting storm of disappointment and frustration. I can't even begin to describe how emotionally exhausting it can be to be around such people. Their negativity doesn't just stay with them. It has a way of seeping into your soul, subtly altering the way you see the world. It starts small, almost imperceptibly. Maybe you're having a good day, feeling upbeat about life. But after spending time with someone like this, you begin to feel a sense of heaviness, like a dark cloud that follows you around. Their pessimism becomes contagious, so much so that you might catch yourself focusing on the negatives in your own life, even when things are going well for you. It's like being exposed to a constant barrage of gloomy thoughts and hopeless perspectives, and over time, they start to erode your sense of peace and well-being. I remember having a close friend who embodied this constant negativity. No matter what the conversation was about, whether it was work, family, or something as trivial as the weather, they always found something to complain about, something to be dissatisfied with. At first, I tried to be patient, thinking that maybe it was just a phase or that I could help them see the bright side. But as time went on, I found myself feeling more drained after every interaction. I would leave our conversations feeling discouraged, heavy-hearted, and emotionally depleted. There was this pervasive sense that no matter what positive things I tried to bring up, they would shoot them down with a list of reasons why things would go wrong or why they couldn't be happy. It was exhausting, honestly. After much reflection, I realized something that, though hard to admit, was so incredibly necessary. I had to distance myself. I couldn't continue to let this person's perpetual negativity drain me to the point where I lost my spark. The decision wasn't easy. It was painful because I genuinely cared about them. But sometimes you have to make tough choices for your own mental and emotional well-being. It's a form of self-preservation, one of the most important acts of self-love you can offer yourself. Being around constantly negative people doesn't just ruin your mood at the moment. It starts to chip away at your ability to see life with hope and joy. It's a subtle poison that infiltrates your thoughts, your outlook, and even your actions. We all have enough battles to fight on our own without being dragged into someone else's endless storm of complaints and negativity. Life is hard enough without allowing others to rob us of our peace. And sometimes, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to create the emotional distance needed to protect our energy and our happiness. As we wrap up today's video, I hope you've gained some valuable insights about the importance of protecting your emotional well-being by limiting contact with certain types of people, particularly those who bring constant negativity into your life. We've talked about the impact of toxic relationships and how they can slowly chip away at your happiness. Now, I want to hear from you. What have you learned so far? Is there something that stood out to you that you're ready to put into practice? I'd love to hear about one thing you plan to take away from this video and bring into your own life. Drop your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Remember, your journey towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life starts with small, intentional choices, and this could be the first step in that direction. If you like this video, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue creating content that empowers and inspires. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.